Okay, great. Next 5. Let's go. All right, let's shift. Go up, go up, go up. Right, here we are. So we have a little decision tree over here. So with this decision tree, they're asking which of the following restaurants should be chosen based on the expected values. And we can see the payoffs here. So again, this is good revision because you probably haven't seen this in any of the questions so far. And you have the expected values here with expected payoffs. So literally, we're literally trying to find it's an average, isn't it? So literally you want to do 0.4 times this, 0.2 times this, 0.4 times this, and you get an answer over here. So, I mean, just because of time, I'm literally just going to look for what that result is, because I just want, it's the theory I'm trying to focus on. So, 0.4 times this is 4,000, 0.2 times 0.4 times this plus 0.2 times this plus this gives you, add everything together, and you have 12,600. Do the same thing again, 0.4 times 8,000, 0.2 plus 0.2 times 18,000 plus 0.4 times 12,000 gives you a total here of 11,600. And we do exactly the same thing here, 0.4 times this, 0.2 times this, 0.4 times this, and we get a total here of 14,000. So we can see definitely this is the highest expected value if we work on averages. So we're going to go with this guy, 14,000. Yes, which takes us, let's just look at the number, and that's the large parlor. So 14,000 is what we should go with. Great. Okay, great. And the next question, following report, following statements about, we've seen this question before actually, reports should not include information. That's not true. We should have it there. But we just, in terms of assessing, we just have to be clear as to who's responsible for them, or not put them directly on managers. Only encryption can be used to ensure that's not true. Encryption is not the only way. So, which of the following statements are true? Neither of them are true. It takes us to D. Let's just move on quickly. That's that. So that's D. Right, and then let's look at 13. Good question, this one. Good practice question. So it tells us these people have a budgeted sales revenue with an associated contribution of this. So we know the relationship of contribution. So that's my contribution. If that's my revenue, there's a variable cost, and that's my contribution, 275,000. I can find that relationship. It's always constant, right? It's a constant relationship because these are units. All these three guys are units. I mean, this is the result of the sale of X number of units minus the cost of X number of units. So it's a fixed relationship given that prices are not changing and variable costs are not changing. So 275 over 500, right, gives us this, whoops, sorry, my pen is having a mind of its own. 275 over 500 gives us a fixed relationship of 55% or 0.55. So we know that contribution is always 55% of revenue. We know this. Now here's the thing, we know that at break-even, contribution is equal to fixed costs, right? It just is. Because at break-even, these two are equal, because profits are zero. So if contribution is equal to fixed costs, if we're given fixed costs, we know what the contribution is at break-even, and therefore we know what the revenue is at break-even. So we know that fixed costs here are 137,500, and they also tell us we have 27,500. So we know what the total fixed costs are. And the total fixed costs are 165,000. And so now that means this is also our contribution. And we know what the ratio is. And we know that this thing here is 55% of our revenue. So the question is, what is revenue? So if this is 55%, if 165,000 is 55% of revenue, what is revenue? And when you literally have to do that, I guess all you're literally saying is what's 165,000 divided by 0.55. That's one way of sort of looking at it. And that should bring you to the happy answer of 300,000. Great. These next two questions are slightly tricky. So the JIT and TQM environment, let's just quickly, if you like, I think it's a good idea, just very quickly, please, flick on to your textbook. JIT, page 33. Great. Page 33, of your textbook, you will see it says the GIT focuses on high levels of automation, high levels of overheads, customized products, emphasis on high quality, and continuous improvement. So you can see really this is all about innovation and sort of minimizing costs and keeping low stocks. So GIT and TQM aren't really about variance analysis. Variance analysis is very much about, oh, we have a standard cost and we have an actual and we're comparing all the time. So GIT and TQM limit the value of variance analysis. They're really an upgrade from that because price variance variations are only one component of total cost, and that's true. The argument is that there are other sort of costs that need, if you like, we will almost want to see how we can get rid of them by automating and innovating and looking at other new ways of doing things. So GIT and TQM are a step up from variance analysis. So variance analysis is very much a standard costing kind of homogeneous one type of product, regular product all the time. When we start growing and we start making different types of products, we really can't stick with standard costing because we're making different types of products. So yes, it does start to move away from that. And again, it limits because variances emphasize the benefit of following standard work rather than encouraging employees to adopt innovative. And that's true. So there's very little variance analysis with once we start moving into the realms of GIT and TQM. We're very much looking at in TQM. We're looking at target costing and engineering out bad costs and value analysis. So both are true. And then finally, here, I don't know if I quite agreed with them in this question, but you know they've come up with C. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how class sizes. I mean, excuse me there. A government is looking at assessing state schools by reference to a range of both financial and non-financial factors, class sizes. Which of the three E's best average class sizes? I mean, just the average class size in itself doesn't tell us much. I mean, if I said to you that the average class size in a school was 25 kids, I don't know how that tells us about efficiency. I'm struggling with this one personally. I mean, I've looked at their answers. Class sizes it says class sizes are the result of the number of pupils educated. I don't know. I don't know. The number of teachers employed. I don't know what that even, how that, some classes have 2-3 teachers. The class size doesn't determine naturally the number of teachers that the class will have. So I think that's a bit of a dud question. Hopefully that would have been one question they dropped because it's not very clear. But anyway, they've put the answer as C. But I think what's also good is to just go to the textbook again and look at the fact that economy was to do with input, minimizing, using, how much input are we putting in. Effectiveness was always about smart targets. And efficiency was how did we use those inputs to generate output, right? So whenever you see something like, oh, we have to achieve 5% of something, you know straight it's about, that's measuring effectiveness. Economy is, oh, what did we put in, if you like, and efficiency is about what did we get out from what we put in. So that's the revision of that. Okay, great stuff. Next 5 coming up.